Selecting a tripod is an act of compromises. No matter what you do, you're never actually going to get the perfect tripod. It's either too heavy, it's too expensive, or it's too small. You'll have to excuse the background noises over here. We've got baboons in the valley below me. You'll also have to excuse my disheveled appearance, as I'm on day 3 of a rather strenuous walk in the mountains in the Drakensberg, where I'm using this new tripod, the Leofoto Ranger LS-254CL. Now, it's the CL that makes it a little bit different to other tripods that people are used to seeing from Leofoto. At the beginning of the year in South Africa, the distributors of Leofoto decided that the standard 254 was just a little too short. So we've asked for and received a very special travel tripod, the 254CL. Now, CL stands for carbon fiber extra length. The Ranger tripods are a little bit different to the standard travel tripod for the simple fact that there is no center column attached to the tripod at all. What you get is an apex with a flat base and then your 3 legs coming out from that. Now, by taking away the center column, it means that when you pack your tripod, it is that much narrower, and it means that it's going to be able to fit on the side of your pack or inside a bag far more easily than a conventional travel tripod, which would probably fold in on itself with the center column folded in between the legs itself. So your overall packing diameter is a lot narrower than with other tripods. The disadvantage to this, of course, is that you don't get that extra height. Leofoto originally came out with 5-section models. Now, the 5-section model has 5 sections to the legs, so 4 joints, and as a result can get higher. The problem with a multi-section tripod like that is it's a little bit more cumbersome to erect and to strike down when you're finished shooting because you have so many more joints. The sweet spot is to have a 4-section tripod. Leofoto's original attempts, though, are a little short, at least for photographers like myself. I'm 6 foot, so I find that I'm stooping down to their 254 standard length tripod because it's just too short. The South African answer was to ask for, and we received, extra length tripods. Just as a basic example, the CL version of the 254 at full height without a center column is 152 centimeters, whereas the standard version is only 128 centimeters. You do get quite a big difference when you're actually shooting with the longer version. So if you're a taller photographer, or if you're actually using it just to be able to reach those nooks and crannies in the side of an escarpment or something, or the side of a rock face that you're trying to work with, then having that extra leg length makes a big difference. The extra long versions of the 254 and also the 284, which we also have in South Africa as an extra long version, are 20% higher than the standard versions, which makes a huge difference when you're out shooting and you need that little bit of extra height. The advantage of this now is that we basically have a almost full level tripod that is only 4 sections and still has the added advantage of the stability of not having a center column, because of course the center column is the weak point on any tripod. That's where you're going to get vibration, that's where you're going to see movement. Leofoto do provide a center column, which you can actually add to your tripod and increase its overall height. So if I now add the center column, which admittedly does take a few seconds, whoa, so now suddenly we have that height that you just cannot get out of a travel tripod. This tripod is now taller than I am. So you can have the height. You do need to be aware, of course, of the fact that it is not necessarily going to be the most stable platform, but if you're out hiking and weight is a consideration, sometimes having the height and the ability to take the tripod with you is more important than having the most stable tripod on the face of the planet. Another major advantage of the fact that there is no center column is that going down to ground level is effortless. You can get down to 14.5 centimeters above ground level with the head included in a matter of seconds, simply by unclipping the leg locks at the top and then folding them out, and you're on the ground. The 254 is what I would consider probably the lightest, smallest tripod that I would be prepared to put a large DSLR like the Nikon D850 on, or if you're shooting on mirrorless cameras, something like a Canon R5 or a Nikon Z8 or the Sony A1. Anything smaller than this and your rigidity is going to be compromised. Anything larger than this and you are going to have to carry that additional weight. Hence why I said right at the beginning of this video that choosing a tripod is about a set of compromises. You can't necessarily have the lightest, most stable tripod without having to give somewhere. In this case, the give is that it isn't as stable as some of the bigger tripods. One of the criticisms of Leofoto has been that the apexes themselves, the final angle is a little bit too fine. I can't actually remember at the top of my head what the angles are, so I'm actually going to put it on a screen in a moment and let's cue the elevator music. So there are your angles, and the criticism is that the top angle, or at least the narrowest angle, is too narrow for support and stability with the Leofoto tripods. I myself have found that it isn't necessarily a deal breaker though, because all you need to do is pop out your leg locks and lower the tripod ever so slightly, and Bob's your uncle, you've got a more stable tripod, even in gusting wind, as I experienced in the Drakensberg in the last couple of days. The extra length version of the Leofoto has an extended height of 152 centimeters, although the literature will say 154. I've measured it, it's 152. It has a full payload of 8 kilograms, which is enough if you're doing hiking in the mountains and you're wanting to carry a camera like like a DSLR along with a 70 to 200 millimeter lens. So it is enough capacity to be able to handle that. The folded length of the tripod with the head is supposedly 59 centimeters. Again, I've measured it, it's actually 58 centimeters, so it is a little bit shorter, and you can make that even shorter by folding over the ball head at the top, and it comes down to 56 centimeters with the ball head attached. That's pretty reasonable actually, and makes for a very packable tripod. And as I say, this thing is small. If I compress it quickly, that is an amazingly small and light tripod to be able to carry with you when you're out hiking. The whole setup only weighs 1.3 kilograms, or 1,310 grams to be precise. So it's a very lightweight setup for being able to take photographs in the mountains if you're wanting to carry a tripod with you in a place like I am in the Drakensberg at the moment. The 254CL comes with all the standard accoutrements that come with a Leofoto tripod. The leg locks themselves are anti-twist leg locks with a very definite feeling to them when you open and close. At the bottom you also have a specially designed rubber foot, which actually has a steel base with rubber shroud around that. So it's a very well designed piece of kit for that. At the top you'll also find that there is a 1/4 inch thread that you can put attachments inside. So for instance, you can actually attach a carabiner so you can hang weight from the tripod if you need more weight. It has 3 leg locks on the sides. It's going to have the standard rubberized leg locks. It's got 10 by carbon fiber or 10 by weave carbon fiber tripod legs. So it's a very stable, very well built tripod. If I have a bugbear, it's of course that the sticker always comes off. It's terrible. But for the most part, it is a really, really competent little tripod. It can be used with a DSLR like the D850 that I have over here. It comes with the standard pan head as well as a angle lock that will give you full control of your ball, and it kind of tightens in increments, which is quite nice. I quite like that. There's a level bubble on top of the Arca Swiss clamp itself. Unfortunately, there is no level on top of the tripod, which is potentially a problem if you're trying to level the tripod for panoramics. So I would recommend getting something like the LB60, which is a leveling base that will go underneath that, or even something slightly smaller if you can find it. Tripod spikes come included with the kit, as well as a bag, and you also get a small loop and carabiner with which you can hang weight off of when you're actually shooting. I am not a fan of travel tripods. I have to put that up front. They tend to be flimsy. They tend to have ridiculous little leg locks that are either going to give you a blood blister or break at the most inopportune moment. They're just not great. And yet it's one of the tripods that most people end up buying probably as their first tripod. I would prefer a full-on tripod. So something like the Leofoto LS-254, because it has proper leg locks, that's twist leg locks. It's got carbon fiber tripod legs, angle locks, so you can go from 180 degrees down to the various different leg lock angles. And it isn't a travel tripod in the usual sense of the word. It doesn't fold back on itself. It doesn't weigh next to nothing, although it is extremely light. The best tripod is a tripod that you're going to have with you at all times. I don't carry my big heavy tripods with me all the time because they are too big and heavy. If you are hiking like we were in the Drakensberg over the last few days, you are going to be carrying between 20 and 25 kilograms of weight on your back if you're carrying your camera equipment. So every gram counts. My favorite travel tripod is the LS-254CX. It's a lot bigger and heavier than using the 254CL. So if you're looking to shed weight and shed those grams to be able to pack more food into your bag or another lens or perhaps a battery pack or something like that, choosing the 254 is a really, really good option. If you're a serious landscape photographer, there's a good chance you don't have one tripod, you probably have 2 or 3 tripods. That might sound excessive, but the reality is you choose your tripod for the kind of shooting that you're going to be doing. If you're going to be doing a lot of walking and carrying your equipment with you into far-flung locations, having a lightweight tripod is a lot better than not having a tripod at all. And that's where the LH30 combined with the LS-254 comes into its own. I hope you've enjoyed the video. It's been fun putting it together in the Drakensberg over the last couple of days. If you'd like to see some more and if you've enjoyed it, please remember to put a subscribe and a like in the bottom corner. Till then, I'm going to be catching the last rays of light over the Together Falls in the Drakensberg on our last evening shoot of this particular trip. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Till then, cheers.